So my name is George. I work here at town. I've been here a little over a year, and I do many things here, like infrastructure, developer productivity, a little bit of product here and there when I can. Town is an AI assistant, meaning that is a kind of an online tool that can connect to many of the systems that you work in every day at work or in personal life, such as your email, your chat, your messages on WhatsApp. And many other systems for productivity and kind of observe your work patterns and the data movement around, those systems and can suggest, workflow automations that you do daily to help you ease your day and focus on the stuff that matters more to you. We have Firetiger monitoring our deployments and pull requests. And we have the feature enabled. You can have a Firetiger agent, kind of attach itself to a PR, so to speak, right? And then, look at the changes that are going out, assess the risk level. And depending on the risk level, I think I remember noticing that it decides to like establish a monitoring window. And so we use it in that fashion. And it's helpful to know that, there's another kind of intelligent agent looking at our changes going out outside of the code review agents with more of the post-deploy context, consideration, so to speak. And so it's helpful to know that, it will be looking at the changes going out and, help us monitor post-deploy situations.
Also curious if you had to do any special configuration to get Firetiger working.
I believe not on my end. I think once John Denis set it up, things have been working really, really smoothly. And I'd be mostly, sit in the Slack channel and, observe anything that comes in specifically from Firetiger. And most of the time, like for comparison, we have, regular deploy notifications from the systems that we run on. But there's so much noise. We don't really, it's hard to pay attention to specific events. But for example, like Firetiger, when there is a notification that comes in, we're much more likely to pay attention to it because it's been like more, there's been much less noise. Yeah, and it's been much more curated, and we know this is like something that we should pay attention to rather than, this random sentry error, not to call sentry out. But
and do you what data sources do you have connected to Firetiger?
Yeah, I believe we have Axiom connected. Axiom is it's a logging platform. It's an observability platform. I think we have you do have Vercel integration, I believe. Yeah. So we have Vercel connected. Do you have a render integration? Because I think we should have that.
We don't have that yet.
Okay, no. Yeah. So I believe those two. Yeah. Convex, yes. Yeah, we have the Convex integration connected. I think those are like the three main ones considering specifically like infrastructure deployments.
So you talk about using the change monitor from Firetiger, and I think recently there were a couple of issues that Firetiger caught in production through the change monitor agent.
Yeah, so FT23 was regarding a tool issue in our system presents itself as like a personal assistant, and that is a specialized agent configuration for the user. And as part of that, it gets a tool set in its context where, it has various tools available for taking actions or reading data. And there was, specifically in the case of FT23, there was a tool that became unavailable. And the technical reason for that is just, we're really writing a lot of tools these days, and our tool subsystem is like has grown a lot, and the complexity has been kind of difficult to start to control. And so we try to have a lot of tests for our tools, but there's been, I think that like there was a test that was supposed to catch the case of a tool not being present due to the way that the agent is configured. And I guess that slipped past our like, testing framework, the edge case. And so what happened was, I believe Firetiger detected that the tool within a session not being present after the deployment and let us know about that.
And so what was the flow once you got notification from Firetiger to fix it?
Yeah, the flow was that it came in through Slack. As I mentioned before, we pay attention very closely to Firetiger notifications, and the team got very quickly on the issue because just based on the text that showed up in the notification, like we immediately knew this was a problem. And we even knew like where to look and where to fix. And so from, I can't remember exactly, but from, notification to resolution, it was like a very focused effort, because sometimes debugging can go on for hours or days, but this was like a very much, here's where the problem is, here's what we need to do, fix it situation. So I remember us resolving it pretty quickly within like an hour or two.
That is a beautiful story, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then there's another one.
Yeah, it's like within our one of our backend services, we have APIs that get called all the time, and they still change just because our product is evolving so quickly. And I believe what happened there was that there was a client of that API that had, I guess, was an outdated schema for the API's parameters. And again, it should have been caught in theory by our testing systems, but it also slipped through our testing infrastructure. And what happened was that the client of that API was calling the API with an outdated schema. And when that error occurred, when the change got deployed to the API update and started happening in production, it seems like Firetiger noticed that from the telemetry that we plugged into it and alerted us about this issue. And so same as with the FT23 issue, we immediately knew what the issue was, jumped on it and figured it out pretty quickly.
And so when you get this notification and you mentioned you're able to immediately understand the context of the problem and what the root cause is thanks to the text you receive. Do you use this content when you're fixing it? For example, is your coding agent connected to Firetiger?
So no, not yet, but I have thought about using a Firetiger MCP such that if an issue comes in on Slack, I could just be like, hey, there's this FT23 issue, please take a look. Like I can totally imagine how that could fit into my workflow. So I'm actually looking forward to setting it up with my coding agent. So the answer is no, but I'm personally very eager to set it up.
And do you make any use of like cloud coding agents? Like
Yeah, we have a debug kind of workflow set up where there's a bugs channel where people can kind of drop any sort of information, text, image, video, voice, and we have a cursor cloud agent that comes and takes a look at that message, tries to parse the content, or whatever the media type is. And then it used to produce PRs, but now it just produces like a diagnosis for us to try to be able to like take, if we wanted to completion.
Okay, I have a feature for you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be able to connect your cursor cloud agents to Firetiger.
Okay.
And then you'll have a fix button for every issue. You can just fire them off.
That's
and
exciting.
Then close the loop in the cloud.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But one other thing I want to ask is, obviously, as software engineers, we've seen in the last 12 months how our kind of everything we knew has been reinvented and transformed. What's your take on where things are going and how you perceive your job to evolve in the future?
Whether I like to or not, I think about it a lot, and I think what I realize is that it's our job has become from like the popular like saying in the industry already that we're lifting ourselves out of like the syntax layer into the semantic layer, and so we're kind of getting to think more high level because we don't have to worry about the slight lower level mechanics. Where things are moving, there's a lot of disparate systems that need to be connected, and information flows across many of them, and there's a lot of fragmentation. But I think in the agentic era, what our job is becoming as we kind of lift ourselves out of like the mechanical layer of like writing code and thinking about syntax and more about behaviors and how modules and systems fit together, is letting the agents do their best jobs by providing them with the best context possible and kind of optimizing the like feedback and iteration loop to be as tight and as short as possible to let them do their best work. And so my take, I suppose, with how that reflects on my job is just to kind of be the steward of the context in a way. And in terms of what that means for town is, doing that kind of motion, but just in the general sense, not just for software engineering, but for any sort of work that people do in their daily life, just providing the best tools and connecting systems in the best ways possible and, keeping those loops as tight as we can.